Anyway,
Yeah, just woke up.
mad interesting to me. I was about to go to sleep and this just woke me up. Y'all, I think I'm gonna wrap it here. Florida court rules teenager not mature enough to have an abortion. A pregnant teenager will be blocked from getting an abortion, a Florida court ruled on Monday. The 16-year-old initially petitioned to terminate her pregnancy, citing being a student and unemployed as reasons she is unprepared to have a baby. The court ruled she was not mature enough to make the decision to have an abortion, blocking her from getting one. The trial court found, based on the non-adversarial presentation below, that appellant had not established by clear and convincing evidence that she was sufficiently mature to decide whether to terminate her pregnancy, this decision read. Though the teen appealed this decision, the appellate court upheld the lower court's decision. In order for a minor to get an abortion in Florida, they must provide a physician with written consent from a parent or legal guardian or request a waiver. The teenager explained her father is unable to assist her and that her guardian is fine with what she wants to do. He said the transcript demonstrates that the minor was knowledgeable about the relevant considerations in terminating her pregnancy, along with four other statutory factors. She had done Google searches and reviewed a pamphlet that she and her family members got from their visit to a medical clinic to gain an understanding about her medical options and their consequences. Medical options. The teen's case is a result of the U.S. Supreme Court in June overturning Roe v. Wade, the landmark 1973 case that gave Americans the constitutional right to an abortion. Abortion laws are now left up to the states. Since the Supreme Court decision, Florida banned abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy without exceptions for rape or incest. Well, that's that. Would you implant a tiny debit card chip in your hand? Forget fingerprint or facial recognition. Biometric payment is being touted as the future. Yeah. We knew this was coming. Is this real? Let me see. The choices you make will determine what happens to your soul. This is the caption underneath the post by Let Us Awaken. Then they have a Bible quote. I guess I'll read it. Revelations 13:16 through 17:16. And he casteth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. 17. And that no man might buy or sell have he that had that mark, or the name of the beast, the number of his name. The monarch of the beast is coming soon, be watchful. Praise be to God for showing us to the tall tale signs right before Judgment Day. These are literal signs from God to come to Him in repentance and faith. Keep ignoring it in your own soul's eternal expense. Somebody says, we already chip in the hands. It's the phones. Wake up. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm not going to really make comments. Let's play this.
And you gotta stop lying. You just have to be real because it is your nature to be polygamous, and it's causing a lot of confusion and heartache because a man is trying to be committed to one woman. Simultaneously, his nature, he wants to be with multiple women, and then men lying about it to the woman, and the woman not understanding man's nature. So it's just heartache, but you're gonna go through the same thing with the next dude. So we have to understand that polygamy is natural. That polygamy is something that we have to come into. Biologically, it makes sense.
So for the fellas, how about when you start the relationship, you let the woman know, I don't think I am a one-man woman. Can you accept me for who I am up front? This is what I may want. This is a now conversation you can have with the modern day woman.
A lot of times women do men dirty because they was with another woman. And man, you gotta stop lying. You just have to be real because it is your nature to be polygamous, and it's causing a lot of confusion and heartache because a man is trying to be committed to one woman. Simultaneously, his nature, he wants to be with multiple women, and then men lying.
I think the lies are the real problem. Hey, Ma.
Daddy,
Video shows child falling out of moving car. Like, how does that happen? Yeah, what was she doing for that to happen? It could have went really badly.
Oh, Lord Jesus, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, skip that diddly dee.
I love his little voiceovers. I got some stuff for y'all. I don't want to get into it yet.
She make it clap, clap.
Why do they have? And then it was a probably BBL issue.
1990 and credit scores were created in 1989. Thank you, Nina Turner, for pointing out that we can live without them. We keep it a stack. Overdraft fees and credit scores was really just created for financial gatekeeping and for keeping particular people outside the economy while always already sustaining people's position inside of it. This is how social constructs are created. Shit happens out of thin air, and then over time, off of practices and procedures and norms, society just agrees it's a thing. And now here we are, 32 years later, paying overdraft fees. Gatekeeping for real, think about it. Credit scores are literally used to filter what type of house you can buy. Prior to 1989, how was y'all doing that without credit scores? It might sound crazy to some of y'all, but this makes sense to me, man. Nina Turner, you own this for too. We should do away with overdraft fees and credit scores because they get in the way of us being able to thrive and survive. I did not know that overdraft fees were created in 1990 and credit scores were created in 1989. Thank you, Nina Turner, for pointing out that we can live without them. We keep it a stack. Overdraft fees and credit scores was really just created for financial gatekeeping and for keeping particular people outside the economy while always already sustaining people's position inside of it.
Man, I've been saying this for the longest, and you sound like a crazy person when you say this stuff because people have accepted it so wholeheartedly. The caption says it's a setup. Let me see. Credit scores were created to have an unbiased effect on who is able to get loans and so forth. Because before the credit score, we couldn't get a loan because it was determined by loan officers who worked for the banks. Credit scores sort of made the playing field more even, supposedly. I don't pay overdraft fees because I don't overdraft. There's your solution. And if you have to overdraft at the moment, then you better make sure you can pay it off before midnight. It's that simple. Can't be mad that you're overspent and they're charging you for using the money and not giving it back. You mess up your own credit acting like that. I ain't gonna lie, I'll use them like a loan. So if I've learned that shit a long ass time ago. You could treat it like a loan, the overdraft, and just pay that fee. It'd be cheaper than the loan actually, if you do it right. Another one that says nothing can happen without our agreement. Nothing has value until we give it value. Well, we've given that shit value, haven't we? And black people are the worst with they're always screaming some shit about. It's like that's a dating requirement for black people. I don't know. Maybe it's like that for other people. I don't know. This says the FICO score was created in 1989. Credit score was created in 1959, and supposedly before then, just a small scale. Shoot. I suck at this. Financial irresponsibility is what's getting in the way of thriving and no damn credit scores and overdraft fees. Y'all come up with anything to not do well. Never forget the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. I know for a fact you can do away with overdraft fees and maintenance fees. That's one way for banks to earn money off the consumer. Banks are not your friend. They invest in the stock market with your money. They get a large return and you only get pennies. You are paying them to hold your money in 2022. It's hard to do away with credit scores because sooner than later, everyone is going to be determined with your credit score. It's too many easy ways to fix it now to not have a good credit score. It says you don't need credit scores then. And they're laughing. I don't know about them saying there's so many easy ways to fix your credit. Like that sounds like that shit that people be saying all the time. It's like if you're in a pyramid scheme, they're like, it's easy. Just sell more for more product. It's easy. Just get more people up under you. Get them. Hey, look, everybody else did this. I did it. This guy right here, he did it. It must be you. You can't do it. You gotta work harder. Because if it was easy to just fix your credit legally, then everybody would freaking do it. Why is so many people they're all just lazy? Is that what you're saying? These people are just lazy. That's why their credit. Back to school vibes. That's what I want to talk about is back to school. That's the name of the show today.
Popes in existence. Everyone knows of the white pope, Pope Francis. A little less known is Arturo Sosa, the black pope, the leader of the Society of Jesus, or better known as the Jesuits. And for a quick refresher, Pope Francis is also a member of the Jesuits. He's actually the first white pope to ever be so. Now, a lot of people think that the black pope, the leader of the Jesuits, is the real power behind the papal throne, but that's not the case. There is another with far more power and reach than the other two combined, the Grey Pope, Pepe Orsini. The Orsinis come from a long papal bloodline of the black nobility that are the real movers and shakers behind world control. The best way for me to break it down is this: the Rothschilds and Rockefellers answer to these people. Think about that. Did you know there's not one, but 3 popes in
I don't know about this stuff, so I can't make any comments. Let me read the caption. It says, I often forget that we belong to a secret society called the Inner Sanctum of the Conscious Community, not to be confused with the debate circuit or woke politics or whatever else consciousness is confused for. As students of Bobby, Phil, and Durbert, we take for granted the lessons that have been taught to us without realizing we represent easily the 1% of people on the planet who have been exposed to this information, and even fewer of us have a firm grip on understanding that the information, and even fewer of us have an understanding of how to apply it, and even fewer of us are ritualistic as to how we apply this understanding. So we are a select priesthood, an inner sanctum of consciousness, the nuts and bolts that make this thing go round, students of metaphysics, occult, esoteric information, the mystery and the history. And with that being said, as students of Valentine, we know about the 3 popes, but how many people on the planet you think know about them, let alone can put the information in perspective that allows them to actually do something with it? I took notes and cooked up Pape Pablo 44 as a direct expression of me not only understanding, but finally being in position to do something about it. It sounds like you're just tooting your own horn there, buddy. Are you sharing information with us? Break it down. Break down the Pope thing. Moving on. Russia unveiled a robot with an attached rocket launcher at a military convention. Damn, bro. That's scary as fuck. The machine was dubbed M81 and advertised as a combat unit capable of striking targets and transporting ammunition. Damn. You ain't even gonna be able to see that thing. It's just it's a damn gun that walks around. Ooh. It probably can't aim worth a shit, though. I can't see how it would be accurate with aiming. It's got a scope on there, so who's ever controlling it, it'd be like a drone, right? So, but still, the aiming would probably be tough. Because that bitch, it might just be like just kind of a scary toy, but not really practical. Because like I say, I think there's a problem with that. Because you know, if it's a rocket launcher, it's gonna move. It's got kick and shit. So like, how strong is that thing? Can it really just anchor itself in the ground and do a nice shot without it moving? I don't know. Maybe it can, or it'll just. I can't imagine how that would work out because it doesn't look big enough to actually be strong enough to hold it when it takes off. But we don't know how heavy it is. It might have some heavy ass weight. Oh, if it had a counterweight underneath it that's really heavy, heavier than the gun, then that would hold it in place. And whatever, that's me overthinking it. That's scary, huh? That's scary. Russia unveiled a robot with an attached rocket launcher at a military convention. It's like, look what we got. The machine was dubbed the M81 and advertised as a combat unit capable of striking targets and transporting ammunition. Ain't gonna lie, that thing looks scary, bro. You would be scared as hell because even if you blowed it up, it's like, okay, you blowed it up, but you didn't really accomplish nothing. Like, how many more of them damn things that them hoes just start coming out in droves? You're gonna be like, oh shit, bomb the whole area, airstrike this whole area. Mad interesting to me. I was about to go to sleep and this just woke me up.